Welcome to my cooking class today. I'm Charlotte Habiger. I'm an independent consultant and director with Epicure, and my goal is to help you change your eating habits in the way that you want to change them, in ways that are simple, easy, quick, also very good for your wallet. So today I'm going to do a quick recipe with a meal solution from Epicure. So I'll let you know what Epicure is all about. You can write in the comments under the video if you'd like to share your own tips, if you have questions, if there's anything you'd like to see on these videos. And if you're interested in any of the products that I'm showing you, you can order on my website, which is will also be in the comments. So let's get started. I hope you're looking for some comfort recipe ideas. That's what I'm going to be sharing tonight. And everything I show you, I do vegetarian options, and you can adapt it to whatever you have in your refrigerator, your pantry, whatever's available right now in your area in the grocery stores, and just whatever you like. You can absolutely substitute almost anything I will be talking about. Let's get started. I'm going to show you a recipe for how to make butter chicken. Do you know that to make butter chicken, you need about 20 different spices? Wow. So of course, if we could all have them in our backyard, they would be fresh, that would be ideal, right? But usually these spices do not grow where most of us live, or they grow in different places, and it would take a lot of time to prepare them. So Epicure has put them together for us. Plus, most items that come into Canada or a lot of countries, there are like techniques that are used to sterilize them that are not very healthy for human beings. But I guess not sterilizing them in some cases would also be unhealthy. But Epicure, they always check to make sure that the spices and herbs come from places where it's ethically grown. Also, everything is organic. They check a lot of different criteria, and they choose the best among those criteria. So we're going to use this, and there's no gluten, so there's no additives. It's also non-GMO verified, kosher, anything you want that you need, you can find in here. And as far as sodium as well, it's very, very, very low in sodium. So you can check all the information on the Epicure website. It just makes it easier to make food quick, and you can make butter chicken anything. Today I'm going to make butter chicken without butter, without chicken, and you could use root vegetables or different things that I'll just give you some suggestions for. So if you're listening, just let me know if you can hear me well, if the sound is good, if you can see and hear well. So I'm going to start by starting with this meal solution. It's a 15-minute recipe. So what's awesome is that the ingredients and the recipe are on the back, on the website as well. You have like thousands of recipes on the website, and you can use them without our products as well. I'm going to use our new kitchen scissors to open my bags. I always do that to not lose any of it. And we're ready. Oh my gosh, this smell in here, even that is comforting in itself, isn't it? What do you find? Are there spices or herbs that you find just comforting, smelling them, tasting them? And maybe there are others that you just can't stand. So share in the comments the kinds that you like, what they bring to you, as spices in themselves can be a total therapy. So the recipe on the back is that you're supposed to mix butter with, in a frying pan, just melt some butter. So I'm not going to use butter today. So you know what I'm going to use instead of butter? Some of you probably know. I'm going to use some coconut oil. So did you know that coconut oil has lots of properties? Of course, you can read up about it. I like to buy mine, there's different qualities that you can buy. So I like to buy the best quality. And still, whatever quality you buy will be better than some other kinds of oils or fats that would not be healthy for you. So coconut oil is really practical. You can use it, for your skin. You can use it for your hair. You can use it to also take care of your teeth. And it's good in recipes too. So the way we're going to use it is I'm going to actually melt some of the coconut oil in my wok here. So a wok is, what's practical about a wok is you start heating it up, and then you can actually turn the heat off, but it continues to cook. That's the whole, one of the points of it. So better for electricity, also just better for different reasons like that. Easy to handle. This is so popular, every time it comes back in Epicure stock, it just goes away right away. So if you want one, you better be on the watch out for it. So I'm going to melt 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and I wanted to show you, if you've never used coconut oil, it's really weird. At first you're kind of like, are there 2 kinds of coconut oil? The really hard one, and then the liquid kind? No, it's the same one. It's that when it's cold, it gets it hardens, and when it's hot, it becomes more liquid. So I use one of our prep bowls to put some coconut oil, and this one I keep in the refrigerator just to keep it longer because it is an oil. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of the coconut oil into the wok, and that's going to be heating up a little bit. There we go. I'm using our 4-in-1 measuring spoons here. It's super practical. 1 spoon, and you have 4 different measurements. So that's very practical. I'd love to know if you're watching, if you have any questions, comments, and suggestions, whether you're watching direct live. A lot of people watch the replay, and a lot of people also watch on YouTube. Then I'm going to add, following the recipe again, so everything's on here, and you can follow exactly what it says, but you can also adapt it to whatever you like. So the next step is to put the onion in first. Actually, I forgot the step. So we're going to add an onion. And do you know a tip? Do you have any tips so that it doesn't make you cry? I'd love to know your tips. I'll share one. And also, do you have any tips on how to substitute for an onion? Because in my household, we hardly eat onions anymore. And I'm sure there's ways to substitute for onions. So what would you suggest to substitute an onion? Today I'm going to use an onion, and the way I do it, so that it doesn't make me cry, I remove the outer layers. So I remove extra outer layers, and I put it under the water too. I just rinse off the onion, and it's been working for me for a long time. So I'd love to know if you have tips for onions. And what I'm going to use to cut it is our ceramic knife. Super sharp, looks like a toy, but it's just very, very sharp. So be careful. I'm going to cut the onion in small pieces. So of course that's up to you. If you like when your onions are fried but crunchy, if you like it when your onion pieces are small, if you like it when it's teeny tiny, you know, just the way you like it is the perfect way. And if you don't like onions, I'd love to know, or if you can't eat them for whatever reason, or they're not available where you are, what would you substitute it with? Because here we're going to absorb the coconut oil, which is the substitute for butter, with this, and then the seasoning. So what would you use to replace an onion, for example? There we go. So that's going to fry for a bit. Remember, this is a 15-minute butter chicken. Do you know what I love about that? Is that if you were tempted to order in, which is okay too when you've decided that, but when it's because you don't know what to make and it takes too long, well, a 15-minute meal you can make that doesn't have all the additives and all the chemicals and all the sodium that would be in your takeout food or ordered food. Well, why not make it at home if you can, right? With anything you have in the fridge or the pantry. So I'm just going to add right here. There we go. And let me know also if you like Indian food, because this is an Indian-inspired food. Do you like Indian-inspired food? What's your favorite one? Is there another recipe you'd like me to find for you? Because butter chicken is one of my favorites. It really tastes like the restaurant or the actual ones I've had while traveling. So I'm wondering if you'd like to taste it. And what are your favorite recipes? What are your favorite Indian dishes? And yeah, let me know in the comments. So now we're going to add the seasoning, and then the next step we're going to add some coconut milk and some crushed tomatoes, and then it would normally be 2 pounds or 1 kilogram of chicken. And I'm not going to use chicken because I'm doing a no butter, no chicken, butter chicken, okay? Because in my home we're vegetarian, going on vegan. And you can actually make the products the way you want to make them. So they're in themselves, majority of them are vegan, which is also great because you don't have all those animal product additives that are in so many of the things that we buy at grocery stores. So we're going to be able to add in the seasoning, and then the coconut milk and the crushed tomatoes, and we need the chicken or chicken substitute in a way. So I'm going to use tofu. There's so many other things that you could put. You could actually just put root vegetables or another source of protein if you prefer, rather than the chicken or the tofu. I'm going to use tofu because it's so easy and it absorbs the taste. It's so yummy. Well, not the tofu by itself, perhaps, but the way I use tofu is I buy the firm tofu. I buy the firm kind. I rinse it off. I just find the liquid in there kind of, and then I dry it off. So it's very easy to use, and I just cube it. Hello, Sandra. If you want to use chicken, will you cook the chicken with the onions or before? Yes, I will. I will let you know about the chicken, how to use it, because it would be a little bit different from the tofu. The only reason I'm cutting this now is because I want it to be ready in a couple minutes when we put it in, and then I'll let you know what you would do if you were using chicken, because you're right, it would be a little bit different. Tofu doesn't need to be cooked very well. It's already, I mean, I could eat it raw if I wanted to, you know, if I did, but the chicken would need to be cooked, so I will give you the instructions for both. I will also post the recipe under the video afterwards too, so you can use it with or without the products if you have them or want them. So the way I dice the tofu is I don't know, I still have not had anybody tell me how they cut tofu, but the way I have done it for years, the way my family does it, is we cut it, it's like a rectangle shape, so we cut it in one direction, and then I cut strips in one direction, and then I cut strips in the other direction. I guess that's what I would like to say, yes. Strips in another direction, and then when I cut strips in the last direction, they just break into cubes. So that's the way I've done it before. I always do it this way. It's very quick, and with the ceramic knife or this utility knife, I'm using both today. Both knives are very sharp. It just goes so fast. There we go. So I'll show you what that's like. And I usually say this in my videos. I forgot to say I'm originally a scientist. I was a research scientist in biochemistry, studying the 3D structure of protein, converted to a spice queen. So my way of cutting things or doing things is very influenced by my actual training, and what I'm super interested in, science and food. So just to say that my pieces may not be pretty, but they're very quick and very practical. So before I put that in, I need to put the coconut milk. And if you have a favorite kind or a favorite brand or anything of coconut milk, let me know. And I just use, there's a couple inexpensive ones that I use. And I'm just going to pour the whole can in. Sometimes when you have a can of coconut milk, ooh, the onions are frying in there. Smells so good. Sometimes when you're using coconut milk, you know, the top might get kind of thick, and kind of like the coconut oil, it can get thicker. So sometimes you kind of have to break through it or mix it up so you can get it out of the can. And if you're lucky to be somewhere where you can get coconut milk without a can, well, that's awesome. It's even, you know, if you can get it directly from the coconut. And the crushed tomatoes. So we have, like, it says we can put half a cup of crushed tomatoes from a can. The reason why we use cans is we want you to know that that's better than prepared food in itself. It's better to use canned vegetables, etc., better for our health than to purchase prepared foods from, for example, a takeout place or something. So canned is okay. Of course, if you'd like to prepare your own crushed tomatoes, I mean, good for you. I mean, if you have a garden and you want to make your own crust, just replace the canned ingredients by your own fresh ones. But Epicure wants everyone to know that everybody can cook healthy, even with what's available in most grocery stores. So we need half a cup of crushed tomatoes. And half a cup of crushed tomatoes is, I measure with we have measuring bowls. They're actually bowls that go in the refrigerator, have silicone lids. They're glass. And so you can also measure with them. So I like that because I can use them to eat with, I can use them to put things in. I can also use it to measure, which means I have fewer dishes. So I really like that. So I need to measure out here half a cup of the crushed tomato. So I'm just going to put that in here very quickly and put that in the wok. And continue frying my onion with the coconut milk. So there was a can of coconut milk, half a cup of crushed tomatoes in here. half a cup of crushed tomatoes. And now, after I mix that, we're going to add the spice blend that we have. I'll use, I'll just get another utensil here. This is my favorite one. I like this one, the slotted one. It's my favorite. So, onion with the coconut oil, with the can of coconut milk, with the crushed tomatoes. Now we are ready to add our spice blend. So that is the one ingredient that is from Epicure that we're using. You can purchase it. It's 3 sets for you get 3 when you purchase them, and you can feed 4 to 8 people with each of our meal solutions, depending on the kind and depending on the appetite of the people that you're feeding as well. So if you have too much food in the end, you can freeze it. You could prepare just half of the meal solution. The reason why they're meal solutions is because you can take it to the grocery store, put it in your bag, to just check out the ingredients on it when you're at the store. You can take a picture of it to know the ingredients that you need, or you can also check the website, epicure.com, or my direct personal website. So I'm going to add the seasoning. Like I said in the beginning, there's like 20 different kinds of spices that come in a butter chicken recipe. So if you don't have these, then you'll have to make a mix of different kinds and try to find the ones that have, we really need to make sure that the things that we're eating are either in glass or in metal. Those are things that can conserve it well. Anything that's in plastic or cardboard, I'd really not advise it as much as possible because of the chemicals and the reactions and the fact that they have to put something in there to keep it from reacting with the plastic. So anyway, better to use things that are in glass jars. That's why Epicure products are in glass jars. And if you see the inside of the meal solutions, you can't see it very well now, but there's actually a layer to protect the food from the plastic and stuff. So I'm going to put the seasoning in here and mix it again. You can also do this with curry. If you have a curry mix or another blend that you enjoy, you can do this as well. So let me know if there's something else that you'd like to put in something similar to this, like Indian-inspired food, curry-type dishes. Now we're going to add in the tofu. So if you were doing chicken, if you were making chicken at this point, you would put the chicken directly in the mix. So the recipe, let me just check it here. I have another bag of it, so I wanted to just let you know. So the chicken, you would be putting it directly in it, okay? The difference would be, because the sauce is hot, so the chicken would cook in it, but you'd have to leave it for the full 10 minutes of the recipe. And it's boneless chicken, 2 pounds boneless chicken, in the sauce. It would cook for 10 minutes. Because I'm doing it with tofu, I don't really have to worry about the time too much. It's mostly about, is it a nice texture, is it warm? I just need to make sure it's cooked some. But if you're using anything like chicken, or if you want to use, I don't know, something else like shrimp, or you can actually put whatever kind of protein you want in there. Just make sure by checking a couple pieces that after 10 minutes it's cooked. That way it would be, make sure that it's also edible for you. So I'm going to add my tofu in here. So I put the equivalent 2 pounds of tofu instead of 2 pounds of chicken, because I'm making a butter-free, chicken-free butter chicken. So here I'm just going to mix it up. And because I do not need to leave it in for 10 minutes, I just need a couple minutes. I'm going to let it sit for a couple minutes to warm up so I can just finish up explaining here. So if it's chicken, you have to wait for 10 minutes. Because it's tofu, I only need to wait for maybe, a couple minutes. I could even turn it off because the wok continues to stay hot, remember? So that's really what's practical about the wok. I also wanted to say what you would do with the butter chicken in the end. I'm going to show it to you. Is you can make rice and you could, put the butter chicken on top. So I was going to suggest, for example, with a bowl. So we have our prep bowls of this size too. You could make like a kind of a poke bowl or another kind of like a nourish bowl as well. There's different concepts around bowls. So you could have your grains, like you could have your rice, You could have a little bit of some kind of vegetables. You could have the different elements of whatever concept of bowl you're creating, and then you'd add the butter chicken there, which mine is butterless, chickenless butter chicken, but you'd add it on top. There's other ways of using it as well. You could freeze part and use it later for another recipe, and perhaps if you do that, when you reheat it, you'll want to add some cream or milk or coconut milk or water, because it would have dried down the second time that you heat it up or that you take it out of the freezer. So you can use it in a whole bunch of different ways. I actually eat it without rice because I just simply don't eat so much rice anymore, and there's different ways of using it. You could have it with vegetables, you could have it just with anything that you feel like having it with, but the typical way would be with some rice, some naan bread perhaps, and then to have the butter chicken on top, and then you have a dish that's all set and all ready to go in 15 minutes. So what do you think about that? I'm going to show you what it looks like, give you a few more tips, and then I'll just leave the video open for questions, comments, and I'll be posting the recipe and suggestions. I love it when the conversation goes on after the video, so you can communicate with me by email, Facebook, or whichever way you had access to this event today. So I'm going to look at what it's like, where it's at. So it's almost ready. Just a few words, perhaps. So I'm an independent consultant with Epicure. I do mostly cooking classes. I also work with a team who does the same that I do, actually sharing healthy eating through meal solutions. And I also wanted to say I'm in Quebec, Canada, so one thing that's really exciting for me through these videos is to be able to connect with people. I've traveled and lived in different places, and I love to meet new people, and so I'd love to know where you are and what you do and what attracted you to this video today. I'd love to know more and to be able to create more content that is adapted to what you're looking for. So this is my butter chicken with no butter and no chicken. Would you like to see what it's like? Very excited to show it to you. It's always prettier in the real life. I find the video is doesn't show it as well. So I'll make you a little plate to show you a picture afterwards. I hope you enjoyed this. I was very happy to see you today, and I will be sharing more content here and on YouTube. I'd love to see what you're getting from it. If you have tips, ideas, let's make the world a healthy eating place. So thank you very much. Have a great day or evening wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you soon.